Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Sigma Update, the weekly show where we try to condense everything that happened in the community in the Ergo ecosystem down to hopefully under an hour for all of your viewing pleasure. With me today, I have a special guest, Cheese from GetBlok. Cheese, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. Nice to be here and to participate in the show.
Fantastic. Let's dive right into it. I moved segments around a little bit so we can get a lot of answers from you at first before you get too tired. Our first segment is who's who in the community. And of course, we have Cheese here. And Cheese is a community dev, also works for GetBlok as a member of that team. Cheese, why don't you tell us about how long you've been doing things for GetBlok and where you kind of started in the Ergo ecosystem?
Yeah, so I started in the Ergo ecosystem around Ergo Hack 2. I kind of did my first Ergo project there. It was like Ergo subpooling. And then from there, I met the people at GetBlok, Rob and Vinny, and we kind of started making a mining pool for GetBlok. And we started focusing on things like smart pools, sub pools, all of that fun stuff.
That's awesome. That is cool. Well, I have written down that you're part of several kind of projects and mini projects and community offerings. And so I'd like to go in the order of what I think is the least complex to the most complex. So we're going to start off with DeCo. Can you tell us what the heck, for Joe Armenio's sake, what the heck DeCo stands for?
Yeah, so DeCo stands for decentralized collaboration. And it's kind of just a way, sort of like a mini school almost for people to learn about Ergo. So we have classes on, basic EUTXO stuff and learning how this whole accounting model works. Then we have classes on Ergo script and developing on Ergo. So making decentralized applications, all of that sort of stuff.
And are you the only teacher of DeCo, or are there other teachers that are doing this too?
There are other teachers. I'm just one of them. I know Keith, who works with Excel or ErgoLent, as it used to be known. He is another teacher. Luca or LGD, he is, I guess, my teaching assistant, kind of. So
The guy with the pen, right? Since you don't know
yeah.
I just want to take a pause here to say that Cheese is amazing. You're amazing at writing text with a mouse. It's mind-boggling. It's so good to the point at the last class that I was in with you, I said, Cheese, did you finally get a pen? And nope, you just continue to get better at writing with a mouse.
I'll get them. I'll get the pen eventually. One day.
How do people find out about DeCo, or how do they join a class? Are there any barriers to joining or skill levels that you recommend, or what class do you recommend they start off first?
Yeah, so if you have no experience at all with EUTXO, we probably recommend the layman's class, is what it's called. That one kind of teaches you what EUTXO is and how it works. Then if you have programming experience or more EUTXO experience, then you can join the Ergo script class that I'm teaching and Keith is teaching. So it's really dependent on you and your knowledge level and what you want to learn in the end. As for actually joining the class, well, for my class, you can always pop in. I don't mind at all, whoever wants to come. But usually we do have different semesters. So I'm guessing there'll be a new batch of classes starting next semester. I'm guessing like March-ish around.
And they can just hop on the Discord server and get that info, which I can put down below somewhere.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, let's move on to the next thing I have here for you, sub pools. And the thing that amazed me about GetBlok is that I could go to GetBlok and mine something other than Erg, which was amazing. And then on top of that, I learned that you are somehow doing some magic, in simple terms, of doing payouts based on those the blocks being found or the blocks being discovered, and your smart contracts combination, in stupid terms. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so subpooling was sort of this idea I had like a year ago where you could make like sort of mining pools powered by smart contracts, but they're not exactly the entire mining pool. It's sort of like below the mining pool, so I called it a sub pool. But really, I mean, the point is that it's supposed to be More trustless, so you don't have to trust, us, GetBlok, to pay you out properly as much. It's very transparent. You can see how you got your payment on the blockchain, and then it also allows for different sort of payout methods. So as you said, you can get paid out in different tokens. We have things like Flux, Neta, Ergopad, lots of different options for you to kind of go in and mine whatever you really want to. And there's all sorts of different bonuses for mining at different pools. And really, it's just this combination of being able to mine tokens and doing it in a trustless or less trusted and transparent manner.
And can you tell me the difference between when I first started mining on GetBlok, I was on the Neta pool, which was a version 1 pool, essentially, was not using the plasma functionality. Can you explain to people what that plasma functionality does to the sub pools, and if there are any pools still on the old functionality, and what pools are on the new plasma functionality?
Right. So plasma is sort of a layer 2 scaling solution in a way. And it's really what we use it for, and what we developed it for was to kind of take all these shares and all this data that's associated with miners and kind of compress it down into a single piece of data that you can verify on the blockchain. So what we use Plasma for is to help scale our smart pools and make sure that they can hold, hundreds, thousands of miners inside them. As for what pools are not using Plasma, there's only one now at this point, and it is the Comet pool. And that's kind of that was like our first pool that we ever launched. So that's why it's still on those old contracts. But yeah, Plasma is pretty great, I'd say. It's been very helpful for us, and it makes dealing with, all these different pieces of data that takes up a lot of space. It compresses it down and just makes it easier for us to deal with.
So the advantage of Plasma is faster payouts than the old PNLPS or whatever that acronym was?
Right. So the old contracts were very slow. It would take like hours to like confirm all the transactions for it. So with Plasma, it takes like 5 or 6 transactions, and we can pay out like hundreds of miners inside of that.
That's awesome. That's amazing. All right, let's move on to the next one. SigmaBonds. Now, this was something that you you silently slipped into chat one night and said, "Hey, I was bored after Ergo Hack 5." I don't know if you said bored, but that's the way I interpreted it. And in 3 days, I made this protocol. Here it is. And not only on top of this is the back end part of it. But if there's somebody that wants to make a UI for it, you can put your your payment address inside one of the registers, and it automatically picks that up and pays you a percentage based on that kind of thing. Can you tell me about how that works, what that is, or what even are bonds, SigmaBonds on Ergo?
Yeah, so I did actually get bored one night and decided to make a bond protocol. So really, bonds are just a type of a loan, really. It's like a fixed rate loan with a fixed term. So you set a date, you set an amount that you want back and an amount that you get right now. And essentially, you create like an order on the blockchain, and then someone, a lender, can go in and fill that order. They can give you their tokens or Erg, whatever it is. And then you end up having to pay them back by a certain amount of time that you set. The loans are collateralized, so depending on the collateral, different lenders may decide to fill in certain orders. And really, all it is to help grow DeFi on Ergo. That's really why I made it. The actual design is very UTXO specific. It's an order book design. So it's not really like Spectrum, where you have automated market makers and liquidity pools. This is more of someone makes an order and someone else fills it. So a peer-to-peer kind of lending platform is really what it is.
So compared to something like duck pools, where you have a centralized, well, I mean, those are smart contracts as well. So what's the difference between something like that and something like SigmaBonds?
Right. So duck pools is a little bit different. Duck pools is more of a pool to peer kind of method, where the lenders pool together their assets, and then borrowers can take those assets from the pool. Duck pools also uses different interest rates and all these different other things. For us, it was, or rather for SigmaBonds, it's pretty simple. It's really just peer-to-peer. Someone makes an order, someone else fills it.
And your address is hard coded into that code, as well as whoever designs a front end to get a percentage of payout of that, or are you not even involved with this once you set the code free?
So I mean, obviously the code is open source. If you want to go and change the fee on it, go ahead, man. What can I do? But if you are a UI developer, what you can do is you can attach your address on something called the context variable of the transaction. And then the contract will make sure that you also get paid out, was it like 0.4% of the entire loan that's paid. I believe I get paid 0.5%. So that's just a way to help incentivize people to make UIs. I'm not much of a UI guy. I hate that stuff. So I figured let someone else make it, man.
I hear you. I hear you. That's amazing. So anybody who knows any UI can link to these this code, build a front end for it, and collect a little bit of profit off the top of it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. Nice, Cheese. That's awesome. Let's move to the last one, which, as you said, is the most complicated. And you won. Did you win third, second place, third, fourth, tied for four? What was it? I can't remember.
I don't even know what I got. I got like some Ergo Foundation award or something. But
okay.
I mean, I'm happy with it. Worked out well.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. But tell me about it. That's labeled SNISPs.
Right.
Right.
Very hard to pronounce. I kind of wanted to change the name, but now it's like already there. But anyway, what it stands for is succinct non-interactive share proofs. And really what it is it's a way to take the amount of work that miners create. So there's shares that they submit to a mining pool. We're taking those shares and we're putting them on the blockchain in a way that's very small. So it's easy to fit on the blockchain. You don't have to pay many fees. And it's in something called an non-interactive protocol, which means that you just create this proof and you send it once, and you don't really have to worry about sending multiple transactions back and forth to kind of prove that you did the work required.
As in currently, you'd have to do that to prove that work's required, and it takes multiple transactions.
Yeah, for other past smart contract mining pool methods, you would need to interact with the protocol. So you need to do multiple transactions, and that ends up costing more fees. It ends up hurting the scalability of the protocol itself. So really what SNISPs do is they make a cheap and efficient way of proving that a miner did work. And what that allows for is it allows for completely decentralized mining pools. So, right now, GetBlok, what we're doing right now, it's sort of like a hybrid. So the mining pool payout is decentralized, but the actual calculation of the shares is not, right? What SNISPs allow is to fully decentralize a mining pool and make it top to bottom completely trustless.
So what's that do for payout? Does that slow down the payout a little bit compared to off-chain things calculating?
Actually, might end up being a little bit quicker depending on how you implement it. There is another whole part of this decentralized mining pool aspect called collateralized mining pools. And so the combination of SNISPs and collateralized mining pools is really what gives you a fully decentralized mining pool. And it would allow for Ergo to be very, very decentralized in its block production. So individual miners would be creating blocks and picking what transactions go on there. It would allow voting to be more decentralized as well. So if you know, right now, voting is mostly controlled by mining pools, but collateralized mining pools and SNISPs would allow for each miner to individually set their votes.
That's amazing. That's going to be a huge thing. That's fantastic. Wow. But my main question here, Cheese, is with these uncollateralized, decentralized mining pools that are kind of headless, who do I complain to when there's
Have to, I would say, Rob from GetBlok, go complain to him. He's usually good with that stuff.
Yeah, he can take it pretty well.
Yeah.
He showed a couple of weeks ago. He was he's a character. He was what he posted in chat the other two to remind Joe that he tried to get a scammer to download a full node.
Smart idea.
He got pretty close, I think, before the guy got tired of it. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Cheese. And thank you so much for volunteering with not too much arm tugging to stay on a little bit longer so we can finish up the rest of these segments. I really appreciate it. So let's move on. Our next segment is dev updates for dummies. And essentially we just go over a little bit about some notable dev updates. We try to keep a really high level and dumb it down as far as that goes. So today, you notice there was some big news. I'm sure you heard if you were anywhere near Telegram or Discord that Spectrum is going to release their SPF. It's an IDO on Ergopad. Yes, that lost me for a second, which is fantastic. So there is, let me just share my screen for a brief second. Let's see. I just want to show this one section because this is probably what most people are going to ask about. As you can see, there are 2 rounds for Ergo for the SPF token distribution. There's a community round and there is the public round. And inside the community round, there's a sub bit of 20% reservation of community round allocations will be made by the Ergo community there. If you're staking Ergopad tokens. For those of you not familiar with Ergopad, you can take your tokens on the Ergo chain, such as Ergopad, Padilla, EGIO, or Neta, and you can stake them on this site. Some of them have locking terms where if you unstake early, and you can see on the right-hand side that Ergopad specifically has some early unstaking fees right here. Neta, I believe, doesn't. And I'm not sure of the exact terms of the SPF token, but I believe they did say there was going to be some stage releases of those so that by the time the token was finally liquidity pool was made, I believe there would only be 10 or a little higher, it's somewhere in here, of a liquidity pool on Spectrum, so that those kind of things, here we go, perfect. On the day of the IDO on Spectrum, 10% of the tokens will become available. The remaining tokens will be distributed and unlocked over a period of 6 months daily, as stated in the vesting schedule above. So I'll put this link in the chat. I ask a lot of you to please read up on this. It doesn't take that long to read. It looks daunting, but all the information's there, and it's fairly simple to digest. I was thinking the other day, I've been part of some IDOs on some other chains and some launch pads. And the way that Ergopad curates and really promotes and really sticks with the products that the projects that they offer is bar none. I mean, some of these other projects, you go on, you hit the IDO, you get your tokens, and then it's like, yeah, whatever, that's the project. You know, they're not even affiliated with us anymore. We don't want to talk to you anymore. The launchpad is like, just go. Where Ergopad, you're in the chat, can even be off topic. They like to learn in there. Just all around super friendly guys, and just overall great experience. I can't say enough good things about them. While we're on that topic, Cheese, I have a section next, but I want to skip ahead while we're talking about, since we mentioned LP, that was going to be added for the SPF tokens on Spectrum. Can you tell us what LP is? Because I know a lot of people come in and they hear LP thrown around on a DEX. They may play with it, but they have no idea what it means, what kind of losses may be incurred by doing that kind of thing. You mind giving us a little take on it?
Yeah, so an LP, or a liquidity pool, is a smart contract that's kind of taking 2 assets, so maybe Erg and a token, or 2 different tokens. And what it does is it tries to sort of balance them out, and it provides a price for people to buy or sell whatever token they want from a specific liquidity pool. So liquidity pools, they're essentially automated market makers, and they set the price for these various tokens. And as a person, you can also provide liquidity to the LP. That has its own risks, like impermanent loss, which is sort of a possible way to lose value by providing liquidity. But as a liquidity provider, you also get fees from each trade done on the liquidity pool.
Fantastic. All right, let's go to our next section, and let me share my page real quick. Next section about dev updates for dummies are the Ergonodes. So now this is a little known treasure, I think, very underrated as far as that goes. That was built by Aberg over in the Satergo Wallet channel. This essentially shows you all the active nodes that are reporting for Ergo. And when I say nodes, I'd like you, Cheese, if you don't mind, to give us an idea of what is a node and what is its importance to be spread all around the world and decentralized.
Right. So a node is really sort of your portal into the blockchain, and it's the only way to truly, fully access the blockchain in a decentralized way. And what nodes do is they kind of do all the upkeep for the blockchain. So every time a transaction is sent or mined in a block, each node is essentially viewing all the transactions and validating them and making sure that someone didn't do something they're not supposed to, like just add like 200,000 ERG to their address or something, right? So really, nodes are important because, first of all, you want a lot of them spread out over the world. That ensures that everything is decentralized. People can access the blockchain from different parts of the world easily. Another thing that they do, as I said, is that they verify transactions. So, you want to make sure that all the transactions on the blockchain are secure and they're not stealing anything. Having more nodes really helps ensure that, because each node is going to verify the transactions independently from one another. And if you have an honest node, you'll be able to keep an honest copy of the blockchain on your computer.
So Cheese, what stops me from running a node, editing the code, and trying to push it into the blockchain? How do people, how do the other nodes realize that that's not a true copy of it?
Right. So some code changes are completely allowed, and those are called non-consensus critical changes. So things that do not affect the consensus of the blockchain, which is really, when I say consensus, I mean this idea of the current state of the blockchain. So every node has this idea about the current state, and there has to be some consensus or agreement about what the current state of the blockchain is. So you could make changes to the node that don't affect consensus, and that is okay. But if you make a change that does affect consensus, for example, changing how a script executes, or allowing you to spend the ERG from someone else's private key, those are consensus critical changes that are not allowed. So yeah, you could make that change and put it on the blockchain. But once every node sees that change, they're going to deny that block. They're going to deny that transaction. They're going to say it's invalid. So really, at that point, you would have your own little forked blockchain with your fake transactions on it, and everybody else would still be on the real blockchain.
But you'd be rich to yourself. That's an amazing explanation. Thank you. Super simple. He also has a nice little country stat here, where it shows all the countries that have listed. He has a, where was it? There was a beautiful, there we go. A nice charts where he's got everything broken down in the charts here. A lot of effort went to this. He even has an API on this as well, if you want to pull things from it. And for those of you watching that don't know what an API is, essentially it's a text-based feed that you can hit from your apps or your Git commands to get some data that's formatted in a very simple way that can be parsed and easily ingested into your app as far as that goes. So that's Ergonodes. The next thing that Aberg does is the Satergo Wallet for Ergo. And this is a really cool thing in that what we just spoke about and what she just spoke about with nodes is that you may say, okay, great. What are these nodes? These are way beyond me to be able to run. But no, Aberg has actually integrated a full node into a desktop wallet. So you can actually, and you can download it for Windows, Linux, Mac OS. There's some instructions here, but I just want to take literally 30 seconds to show you how easy this is. Let me pull up my my remote desktop very quickly. And where are we? Right here. Fantastic. Here we go. Here's how easy it is. I've downloaded the zip file. I'm going to take that zip file, drop it into here. I'm going to run the bat, and just a note, the script doesn't like spaces in the file path, so that's why I'm putting it at the root C drive. There are commands to go around that. I'm not sure if this version fixed that, but I'm not going to chance it for the video. We hit run bat.bat. We get the initial welcome to Satergo. We are going to either do a local full node. Remote node isn't running your own node. It's actually just connecting to somebody else's node. If you give it an address, we're going to run a full node here. We are going to download and set up. We don't need a custom folder. We're going to use mainnet. We hit download right here. And it's actually going to download the version 5.03, which is the latest, right, Cheese, I believe?
Yeah, I believe so.
5.03, we're going to hit continue. We can create a new wallet, we can open, we can restore. So we're just going to create a wallet really quickly. And here we go, initialize wallet. And I'm going to painfully go through this really quickly just to show you guys how easy this is. Here we go. Hit continue. Of course, it's going to ask us like everything else to do this. Let's see if I can talk and do this at the same time. I don't think I can. Drastic, stock, festival, garlic, and nobody try to get in this because it's never going to be used again.
Yeah.
Unless you want to put something in there. Where'd I go? Text, question.
Question, bottom right.
Thank you so much. Dove catalog. And this is actually a nice way to do it. A lot of wallets make you type it in. This is quiz, antenna, and laptop. This is a fantastic way to do it. It's so much easier. Then we save the wallet here, password protected, and voila, we are done. We've just initiated the creation of a full node on our computer. You will get a pop-up on Windows that asks you to allow a firewall exception. I've done this before on this machine, so I'm not getting the pop-up. This is our wallet here. We can go down to node here, and we can see that it's downloading the headers. Do not be worried about these errors. I think there was an explanation in chat that this is legacy code popping up. Cheese, you know about this?
Not too much. I'm guessing it's just some random warnings.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure it does. That pops up, that's it, and you just leave it, and you're running a full node, and you're helping out the decentralization of the network, having a copy of the entire Ergo chain on your computer. And do we know how many gigs this is, Cheese, nowadays?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but I imagine it can't be greater than like 30 or 40 gigs maximum.
Okay.
Okay. Should be less than that for sure.
Yeah. And it takes a good chunk of time to download the full thing. This computer is one of my mining computers. It's in the basement, very shoddy internet connection way down there. So this takes about a full day to sync up everything until it's there. But after it's done, it'll show you the current block height on the nodes up here, I believe right up there. That should, if everything's working correctly. I know the Explorer had an issue last month where it stopped a little bug with on a certain block height, but those should match up with Explorer as well, and you're golden. So really, that took less than a minute to do, even creating a wallet to do that, which is a feat. Amazing to be able to just download a full node of the blockchain and have it on your computer. Yeah,
no, that's great. I actually like the UI a lot too. I didn't know it looked like that. Looks really good.
Yeah, they recently upgraded. They've been working with he's been working with oh, I can't remember their name, starts with an N, in the wallet chat. If anybody's interested in this, please go to Satergo Telegram. They're very active in there. They like guests, and they'll gladly answer any questions as far as that goes. Okay, that was the end of the dummy segment. Let's move on to I didn't know where that was. And this is a good one, because we talked about kind of an indexed organizational site for last week that somebody was working on, the HQ is working on. This week we have the Sigmaverse.io website. And this is a website where you can submit your DApp to be indexed and have a little card with info on it. It has some info on how to do it right here. You can add your DApp. Let me back up one. We can browse all projects. Did you post any of your stuff here, Cheese?
Yeah, no, I asked Noah one time to put it in, and he put it in pretty quickly, actually. So I was pleased with that.
I was just going to say that I spoke to Noah yesterday, and this is the front end of this, and the kind of collection is done by Noah, who we spoke about in last week's episode. And the back end stuff, I have it. I actually have it written down here. Dimitri handles the back end stuff. There is on the front page of this, you'll notice there's a way to do GitHub pulls to get your apps up there. But Noah has requested that you just text him on Telegram with the info, and he can get it up, as Cheese says, very fast. So here's an example. We can look at DApps, we can look at wallets. It loads super fast. Mining, tokens, tooling. Oh, I need to get the love token in here. I should do that. All this information, and once you're there, we can click through, like, let's go to Ergo auctions, and it opens up a new tab so we're not lost in the Sigmaverse website. And there we go. So this is a really good community effort. Noah said some words of wisdom that echo throughout, I think, all of Ergo, and everybody needs to hear every single episode, is that he essentially saw a need and stepped up. When he started taking over things, we're only about 8 or 9 projects, and he's really grown it over to 100 by now. And he says that, he didn't wait for somebody to tell him to do it or do it for him. He saw a hole, essentially picked up a shovel, filled that hole, and now we have Sigmaverse, which is an amazing resource to direct new users to, or even yourself if you're not familiar with it, to see that kind of stuff. And a reminder, don't post a PR anymore. Just hit them on Telegram if you want to add your DApp or your token or any other kind of information that this covers here.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Next segment is community chats. We already hit one of these. We have 2 quick things here that I want to show you. First one is, we were on Spectrum a lot tonight about liquidity as well. They added a Cyberverse liquidity pool to the Spectrum DEX, where you can swap Erg for Cyberverse, or the other way around, but hopefully not the other way around just yet, and you start collecting Cyberverse tokens. And the other thing I wanted to show you is a very community-based kind of thing, and we're going to go here to Telegram. Hopefully you can't read most of my chats on the left here, and there aren't too many curse words. There's something called the DUfD, which is a very organic community kind of thing. There are a massive amount of tokens, as Cheese had mentioned earlier in the episode. Anybody can make a token. You can make a fake SigUSD token, a fake Erg token, give it a logo even if you want to, although those kind of have to be accepted by the wallet creators to be showcased and, to have them show up in the wallet. But anyway, for the tech space, you can make any token you want, and the community has made a ton of tokens. So I'm going to give you an example. We're going to find Cheese right here. This is Cheese's Telegram handle. For those of you who want to DM him and tell him how smart he is. We're going to do a /T command. We're going to name the coin. No, we're going to do the name of the coin. No, sorry. We're going to do the number of the coin, and we're going to do the name of the coin. So here's what happens. And let's scroll down. There we go. We have now sent 10 love to Cheese. And what that does is, it really is a community way of saying, hey, thanks so much for your help, or that was funny. Let me tip you something. There's a lot of comment that goes around in this kind of thing. There's also Erg. There's a lot of love that goes around that token, a lot of kind of stuff. But it's really a community-based thing that shows people that, just like kind of a kudos. Do you have you created a token, Cheese?
I have not created a token.
Are you serious?
Maybe one day. but maybe it'll end up on the TipperBot.
I'd love to I'd
But
love to tip in cheese.
yeah, I'll make a cheese token.
That'd be
Definitely.
fantastic.
And then the TipperBot was made by what was it Louis Vuitton, right?
Exactly. Let me find that for you. So if we go to TipperBot right here, we can click on here and we say Louis Vuitton EP. Amazing tool. Hopefully my seed phrase isn't in here. It is. I'm gonna have to blank that out at the bottom. Don't you look at that, cheese. But what else has he made? Is this the do you know off the top of your head what else Louis Vuitton has made?
Well, he's in the Ergopad team. I think he's working on Paideia right now. But he's a great guy, good developer for sure. Smart dude. And he made the TipperBot as a community thing. So that's great.
That is. And it's used a ton. It not only works in Telegram, but it works in Twitter. It works in Reddit, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it also works in Discord. And you can not only, when you first use it, it creates a wallet for you in all 4 different versions. So it'll create 4 different wallets for you if you use it in different places. But you can go into the back end of it, issue a command, and restore the wallet that you want to restore to it. So then that one TipperBot wallet follows you around for all 4 platforms, for those of you that use that kind of thing. Awesome. We're wrapping up fairly fast here, Cheese. This is great.
Yeah.
Just a quick little recap of the governance meetings for Sigmanauts. Cheese just applied to be a Sigmanaut. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. I'm super excited about that. I put in your application an hour ago and I voted on it already. I won't tell you if I voted yes or no, but I did vote on it, Cheese.
Better not be a no. I'll be mad.
But just to recap again what SIGs are, there's a Sigmanaut program that you can enter into. You start off as a SigCan, and then depending on how involved in the community you are and how involved you want to be, you can move up to a Sigmanaut, which has a more of a responsibility of community engagement and furthering the Ergo ecosystem as far as that goes. So this week we had, last week we had our Sunday meetings as usual. Governance and Treasury are trucking along. We've made some improvements or progress on the mission statement, which we're hopefully going to tweak a little bit more this weekend. And social is trucking on as well. We've done some posts on the Sigmanauts Twitter. So if you haven't followed the Sigmanauts Twitter, which is the old Ergo handle, the old Ergo account, not the old Ergo handle, please follow that so you can see all those updates. We try to keep those updates a little bit different than the main Ergo handle, more community centric and that kind of thing. Let's say Cheese comes out with a new app in the middle of the night again. we'll post that, you know, the next day kind of thing, and let the community know about it. That's it, Cheese. I really appreciate you coming. I think everybody else does too. I think, Cheese, you're one of those people that pops up in chat every once in a while and people think, oof, who the heck was that guy? You know, he knows what he's talking about as far as that goes. And then you disappear again back to back to wherever you were working on as far as that goes. So I'm really happy that you came on here and that you showed people you know, what you know and what you can talk about. And it's fantastic. And feel free to reach out to Cheese in chat. Everybody's happy to talk. Feel free to go to DeCo Discord, which I'll put down below, as I said. And as well, check out GetBlok. It is my favorite mining place. It's where I've pointed my rigs to since after like week 2 of joining Ergo, just because of the cool features that they have with subpools. Any last words, Cheese?
Not much. Just happy to be here. And like you said, if you guys have any questions or ever need to ask me about something, just send me a DM. I don't mind talking.
Awesome. Don't forget, hash it out with CWs on Wednesday, dev update channel in Discord on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. What is that? 1 p.m. UTC. Dev update video comes out on Sunday, and this Sigma updates every Friday night. Be safe, be smart, and if you can't do those, just hold. Thanks so much, everybody. Ciao.
See you guys.